Have you ever felt like your entire world was falling apart? That feeling of total collapse, where everything you thought you knew dissolves into chaos and darkness? This isn't just a breakdown. It's an ancient alchemical process known as Nigredo, the blackening. In alchemy, Nigredo is the very first stage of the great work, the Magnum Opus. It's symbolized by death, dissolution, and raw, unfiltered chaos. Think of it as a return to the primordial soup. Alchemists believe that before you can create gold or achieve enlightenment, the original substance must be broken down, decomposed, and reduced to its most basic, chaotic state. It's the essential first step because all true transformation begins in this darkness. You can't build a new house on old, crumbling foundations. First, you have to tear everything down. In modern life, this alchemical Nigredo shows up as what we might call a psychological dark night of the soul. It's the identity crisis when you no longer know who you are. It's the period of deep despair that feels like depression. It's the major life collapse, a job loss, a divorce, a health crisis that shatters your reality. It's what's often called an ego death, where the persona you've carefully constructed for the world crumbles, leaving you feeling raw and exposed. These moments feel utterly catastrophic, like the end of everything. But from an alchemical perspective, they are initiatory. They are the fire that begins the process of purification. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of a profound transformation, the necessary first step on the path to becoming who you're truly meant to be. The great psychologist Carl Jung was deeply fascinated by alchemy, seeing it as a powerful map of the human psyche's journey toward wholeness. For Jung, Nigredo is the moment we are forced to confront our shadow. The shadow is the part of ourselves that we hide, deny, and repress. It holds all our hidden desires, our deepest fears, our unresolved traumas, and the aspects of our personality we deem unacceptable. For most of our lives we run from this shadow, but in the Nigredo phase we can't run anymore. The darkness rises up and demands to be seen. Confronting this hidden part of yourself is terrifying, but it's also the gateway to real individuation, the process of becoming a whole, integrated person. It is only by facing the darkness within that we can reclaim the power and potential that lies buried there. So why is this breakdown, this Nigredo, so absolutely necessary? The alchemists had a core belief: nothing new can be created until the old self dies. This isn't a literal death, but a symbolic one. It's the death of your outdated beliefs, your limiting identities, and your old ways of being. Imagine it like a blacksmith burning a piece of metal to burn away its impurities, making it stronger and more malleable. Or think of a compost heap, where decaying organic matter breaks down into rich, fertile soil, ready to grow new life. It's the deep, cold winter that must pass before the vibrant life of spring can emerge. This stage of destruction isn't a punishment, it's a purification. It's the necessary preparation for the creation of something far more valuable and authentic. It's life clearing the slate so you can write a new story. How do you know if you're in the Nigredo stage of your life? The signs are often unmistakable. You might experience a profound loss of meaning, where things that once brought you joy now feel empty and hollow. A sense of disorientation can take over, making you feel lost and directionless, as if your internal compass has broken. You may feel abandoned by life, God, or the universe, struggling in a void of isolation. A deep dissatisfaction with your old patterns and habits will surface. You can no longer tolerate the life you once lived. If you're experiencing these things, it's crucial to understand these are not signs of failure. They are powerful indicators that your soul is ready to evolve. You are on the brink of a major upgrade, and this discomfort is the signal that the process has begun. Throughout history, this phase has been described using powerful myths and symbols. You see it in the image of the black crow or the raven, birds associated with secrets, magic, and the passage between worlds. They represent the initial dark state of the soul. The planet Saturn, known as the great teacher and taskmaster, is another symbol of Nigredo, representing limitation, hardship, and the slow grinding work of transformation. The grave, the tomb, or the cave all symbolize this descent into the underworld of the self. The barren desert, where one is stripped of all non-essentials, and the cold stillness of winter also represent this state of being. Psychologically, these symbols point to a period of introversion, solitude, and confrontation with the stark, unvarnished truth of your own being. Now, it's very important to distinguish Nigredo from clinical depression. While they can feel similar, there's a key difference. Clinical depression is often a state of being stuck, a persistent low mood and lack of interest that can be debilitating and may require professional medical help. Nigredo, on the other hand, is a process. It is purposeful and directional, even when it feels chaotic and painful. There's an underlying sense of movement, a feeling that something is being worked through, even if you can't see the outcome. It's an existential metamorphosis. However, the pain is real, and if you feel overwhelmed, unable to function, or are having thoughts of harming yourself, it is absolutely vital to seek professional help from a therapist or counselor. There is no shame in getting support. Navigating Nigredo is not about suffering alone. It's about using all the tools available to you to get through the process whole. So, how do you navigate this intense phase without completely collapsing? The key is not to fight the darkness, but to learn to work with it. This begins with radical honesty. Stop pretending everything is okay. Admit to yourself that you are lost, scared, or broken. Solitude becomes a powerful ally. You need time away from the noise of the world to hear your own inner voice. Journaling is an essential tool for this. Write down your fears, your dark thoughts, your confusing dreams. This is a form of shadow work. You're not judging what comes up. You're just observing it, bringing it from the unconscious into the light of awareness. This is also a time for removing illusions. What beliefs about yourself and the world are no longer true? Let them go. Practices like meditation and introspection help you find a calm center in the midst of the chaos, allowing you to maintain direction even when the storm is raging around you. After the darkness comes the light. After Nigredo, the next stage in the alchemical process is albedo, the whitening. This is the dawn after the dark night. As you move through Nigredo, honestly confronting your shadows and letting go of the old, a new clarity begins to emerge. It's like the ashes from a fire being washed away by rain, revealing a purified, clean slate. What becomes purified? Your intentions, your values, your sense of self. Things become simplified. The complexities and dramas of your old life fall away, and you begin to see what truly matters. Your consciousness is illuminated. You start to understand your past, your pain, and your purpose in a whole new way. This isn't a loud explosion, but a quiet, dawning awareness. The chaos of Nigredo gives way to the peace and clarity of albedo, marking the successful completion of the first and hardest stage of your transformation. If you look at any great life transformation, you will see this pattern. Every hero's journey begins with a call that disrupts their ordinary world, plunging them into a form of Nigredo. Think of historical figures who faced exile, imprisonment, or public failure before rising to create their legacy. Think of mythological stories like Inanna's descent into the underworld, where she had to be stripped of everything before she could be reborn. Think of your own life. The moments of greatest growth likely came after your most painful breakdowns. The collapse is the initiation. It's the universe's way of saying, the person you have been can no longer carry the destiny that awaits you. Nigredo is the sacred, terrifying, and ultimately beautiful process of becoming more. It is the black soil from which your golden, authentic self will finally grow. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the dark. If this resonated with you, consider liking this video and subscribing for more explorations into the art of transformation. Stay curious.